Today's story is about a young child who loves rescue dogs. This child, named Jackson, amazed everyone on the internet with his pure and wonderful actions. The story begins in Charleston, South Carolina, where the Bedshard family lives. Jackson is a 4-year-old boy who lives with his mom in their cozy home. His dad is in the Marine Corps, so he's away from home a lot, leaving Jackson and his mom to live their normal lives. Jackson's mom doesn't have a job outside the home. She takes care of Jackson and is also a big animal lover. She believes in animal rights and helps dogs by taking care of them until they find a permanent home. When they moved to a regular neighborhood from army housing, she started doing this. Jackson is like any other 4-year-old. He's full of energy and loves playing in their yard. His mom's love for animals has influenced him too, and he's become a special part of the story. Jackson's mom wanted to share her love for animals with her little boy. She also wanted him to have friends to play with outside. This is why she started taking care of dogs that needed homes, and it was because of her smart choices that something amazing happened. As Jackson grew up, he started loving animals more and more, especially energetic dogs. He wanted to spend time with them whenever he could. His mom made sure they always had at least 3 dogs with them. Right now, they're taking care of 4 dogs and 2 cats. Jackson's favorite dog is Geo because he's calm and kind. Every day, Jackson would go outside and play with his dog friends. He loved spending time with them and would come back inside covered in mud, just like any playful kid. His dogs always made him happy, and his mom was very proud of the strong bond he had with them. She supported their beautiful relationship and was happy to see it grow. It also helped Jackson feel better about his dad not being around all the time. There are definitely worse things a 4-year-old could be really interested in, that's true. Jackson's mom didn't have any rules about the kinds of dogs they helped, but she made sure to treat all the dogs the same. She wanted to show that all dogs deserve love, even if some breeds have a bad reputation. One of those breeds is the pit bull terrier. People often see pit bulls as mean and dangerous dogs. Pit bulls are often used for dog fights and are bred in violent and abusive situations. People think they're tough because they look strong and muscular, unlike fluffy dogs like golden retrievers or border collies. But what people don't know is that pit bulls used to be nanny dogs because they are actually very sweet and nurturing. They also have a strong protective instinct, which makes them great guardians. Sadly, lots of people like the idea of having strong dog breeds until these dogs grow bigger and start misbehaving a bit. That's why many of these dogs end up in rescue centers. They are often the first to be given up, and finding them new homes is not easy because of the bad reputation they have. In some places, these dogs are even banned. But kids don't see things like this. They don't judge dogs based on rumors. Kids can love without any prejudice, even when others can't. This is what Jackson showed when he had a little secret. He really liked pit bulls. They were his favorite type of dog, but he wasn't allowed to have one, and there were good reasons for that. Like many kids, Jackson got a bit of money every week for helping out at home. This was a way for his parents to teach him about cleaning up after himself and saving money. His mom told him to save at least half of it to learn how to be responsible with money. This taught Jackson important lessons about being careful and taking charge. Quite impressive for a boy his age, don't you think? So you might be wondering, what could a 4-year-old do that's so amazing? Guess what? It's something that not even a lot of grown-ups do, but it's all about caring for and loving animals. Jackson's mom, Mrs. Bedshard, often went to different animal rescue places in their state and local area. She did this to help and support animals that she couldn't bring home. This also made her active and involved in the animal rescue community. And Jackson, her little helper, was always with her. He loved going to these places. He even called them cute factories because they had cute and sweet animals. Isn't that cute? He got to meet new animals and make new friends. The people who worked at the animal shelters knew him well. They had known him since he was a baby. They were amazed at how Jackson could be friends with any animal, even the shy or scared ones. One special day, Jackson went on a car ride with his mom for a special reason. They were heading to some animal places they often visited to check on the animals. Jackson's main mission was to make sure all the animals without homes were cared for and loved. He really cared about them. But what happened next is even more special. But that day was different. His mom took him to a shelter they hadn't been to before, called the Charleston Animal Society. Jackson was super excited because he'd never been there. That meant new friends, but he didn't know what was waiting for him. When they got inside the shelter, Jackson was really happy. He wanted to run and meet all the animals right away, but his mom asked him to say hi to the staff and then go to where the dogs were. So he did that, and guess what? He found something that made him light up like a Christmas tree. In a corner, he saw a black and white pit bull named Penelope. However, he didn't quite agree with her name. He thought Spot was better because of the black spot on her head. He was really into her. He got so excited and started jumping up and down happily. He started getting close to sweet Penelope, or Spot, through the fence. The staff at the shelter were really happy to see Penelope happy again. She had been given up by a family who thought she was a danger because they had young kids. Instead of being a danger, she really liked small children. Jackson turned to his mom and asked her to adopt the sweet pit bull. But sadly, his mom had to say no, even though it made Jackson really sad. She had a good reason, though. If they were going to move back into Army housing, they wouldn't be allowed to have a pit bull. She didn't want Jackson to get attached only to have to leave her later. When it was time to say goodbye to Penelope Spot, Jackson couldn't hold back his tears. He really didn't want to leave her. As they walked back, Jackson suddenly stopped and sat down. His mom turned around and saw that he had found another sweet pit bull named Tank. This big gray dog was so happy when Jackson started talking to him. And again, Jackson asked if they could take Tank home. His mom had to say no again, and Jackson was really sad this time. He was so upset that the shelter staff came to check on him. Something really kind happened then. The shelter staff felt really sad when they saw how upset Jackson was because he couldn't take Penelope and Tank home. He really wanted to love those dogs. But they also understood why his mom said no. Then, the staff told Jackson's mom about a special program. They called it a guardian sponsorship program. They said they could pay for the dogs to be adopted. This way, it would be easier for other people to adopt them. Before his mom could even think about it, Jackson said he wanted to use his allowance savings to sponsor the dogs. That was a really kind thing to do, and everyone was touched by it. The staff couldn't believe it. Then Jackson's story became really popular online. This helped more people learn about how they can help rescue animals, even if they can't take them home. This amazing story shows how wonderful young kids can be. As the news of Jackson's kind gesture spread, something unexpected happened. People from all over started reaching out, wanting to help support the Guardian sponsorship program. The shelter was flooded with messages and offers of help. It seemed like Jackson's act of kindness had sparked a wave of compassion that was touching hearts everywhere. Meanwhile, back at home, Jackson continued to save his allowance to sponsor Penelope and Tank. His determination and love for those dogs never wavered, but there was something brewing in the background, something that would take Jackson and his furry friends on an even more extraordinary journey. One day, as Jackson was scrolling through his tablet, he stumbled upon an announcement that made his eyes widen with excitement. His mom, seeing his reaction, asked what had caught his attention. With a big grin on his face, Jackson turned to his mom and said, "Mom, you won't believe what I just found out?" What was the exciting news that Jackson had discovered? How would it change his connection with Penelope and Tank? And how would this new chapter of their story unfold? The answer lies in the upcoming events that are about to unfold. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. See you next time.